streaming. Good morning, everyone. Baruch Hashem. Today is Yom Vov El Shnas Hakel. We're going to do the 9th daf, page Yud Zayin and Yud Ches, in the Hemshech Hagadol, Hemshech Tafresh Samach Vov of the Rebbe Rashab. Today we start a new mámar, Shuva Yisrael Adavai Lekecha. The Hemshech in Yanim is that previously, in the last mámar, we concluded by saying that dafka through the Avodah Sa'odam, down here Lamata, that is the Tachas Abriya. As we concluded in the words of Zeh Hayom, as we were medayik in the words of Zeh Hayom Tchilas Ma'asecha. Tchilas Ma'asecha, which is Seif Ma'asev Machshava Tchila, can only be accomplished. The end, what the Eibishter wants, that the in Seif Lamaila should be down here, Begilu Lamata, can only be accomplished through Tchilas, through Zeh Hayom, the Yom of Reish Hashanah, the day that Adam Rishon was created, where the day of Avodah Sa'odam began. And we continue with that theme, where we discussed more at detail in the previous mámar how the aliyahs of the neshamas in Gan Eden continues are all in the idea of going through a derech ha'ma'avir. Like we see, there's the level of Eden and the level of Gan, and to get from the level of Gan, which is the lower level, to the level of Eden, which is the Chachma, Pnimius Chachma, we have to go through the Nar, which is a Havara Ba'alma. There has to be the aliyah of the Nahar Yotzei Mi Eden. So with that, we continue in the mámar, page 17, beginning of the page. Shabbat Shuva Rosh Samach Vov Shuva Yisrael Adavai Lekecha Ki Chashal Tachulu. Yidden, return till the Eibishter, because you have stumbled in your Averis. Tzarich Lavin Ma'u Inin Adavai Lekecha. What is this idea that we are going till the Eibishter? Havel Elamimar Le Hashem Lekecha Shuva Yisrael. You return to, not you return till. We have to start by introducing what we explained earlier, that the neshamas in Gan Eden are constantly going up in steps. The level in Gan Eden is unlimited. You keep going up higher than your steps. You're always walking, always going higher. We said by in the last moment, you have to nullify or mevatel the original madrega like we had. And we spoke about the idea of nar dinner, and then you have to have the aliyah of iskalos madrega al. You have to then include yourself in the madrega al, which that's the idea of the Amud, where the madrega al kind of lowers itself down for you to be able to include yourself in it. Because of Gan Eden, this is all brought down in Gan Eden, shor levad mibchinas atzmus hataynu gapashat, which is only a light, only something revealed from the atzmus hataynu gapashut, from the simple etzem dika pleasure hanimshach aladei b'chinas hanar. Now, which, like we said, that's a level of Eden, which comes through nar. We get this level. V'yesh b'zer ribim madregas kanal. So in Gan Eden, which we get the hamshacha through the nar, we have all these ribim madregas. Aval b'chinas Eden atzmoy, this level of Eden itself, which is on the other side of the nar, ayin loy rasa. With all these aliyahs that the neshamas go up in Gan Eden, mikol makom ayin lo yirasa b'chinas Eden atzmai. The b'china of Eden itself will not be seen. Shezeh yiskal el asid dafka. This will dafka be niskal el asid lavoi. Till asid, we're going to see v'lo yikonef in merecha v'yo enecha royes es merecha. Your teacher, corresponding to the Eibishter over here, will not be covered, and your eyes will be able to see your teacher. Will be able to see the revealed pleasure. Will be able to see the Eibishter enjoying himself in his atzmus the way it is in Inseif Mashin. That now in our time the neshama could go and not reach it. It's only within the light that comes from Tainug. The Orogam B'chinas Ein Sof, even the light coming out of it is B'chinas Ein Sof. And Taka, that's why there's that many madregas, like we said yesterday's cheer. Lefishu B'chinas Ein Sof. Umishum Zeh Gam Kin Shokles Abitul Mitzvahs Madrega Canal. Every level is Ein Sof. There's Ein Sof madregas, and between every level is Ein Aroich. So you have to have a bittul. Despite all that, all these aliyahs that you're going to do, we're never going to reach the Tainug Atzmi, the real level of the Eibishter's Atzmi is dike der Heubenkeit. The Adrab, Kol Masha Oilin Yosser, the higher you go, Nifla Mehem, Yosser Nifla Mehem becomes more wondrous. Or Boim Yosser Lebitla Asaga, and you more come to nullify your understanding. There is no limit, there's no limitation, there's no measurement to the greatness of the Eibishter, to Ein Sof, in this level of Tainuk. So all the Madregas that we're having now, Bisman Hazeh, is in Gan Eden, but we still lack this level of Eden itself. To understand a little bit more this idea, however high you go, you're never going to reach this level. Saying Bach Shamar, so Ade Ad here, Sheyesh B'tzei Beis Pirushim. Halaf Ade Ad Loshen Nitzchius, that Meshubach Fire for eternity, Shmei HaGadol of the Eibishter is praised for eternity. V'Abeis Loshen Hefsek. You could praise it till here. K'may Ad Kan Tchum Shabbos, like the Loshen, the famous Loshen that said Ad means till here, stops. Shneim Emes, both Pirushim are, on the one hand they kind of seem opposite, because one means that it's eternal and one means that it stops, but they're both true. Let's talk about the Madrega of Shmei HaGadol. Yedua Shebchinas Erin Seif HaBligvul. This Shmei HaGadol goes on this level that's Bligvul. Be'ez Madrega Shuhi. Wherever you are, that's the level. Im Shuzel B'chinas Erin Seif Shalamayla Mesei Der Shtalshlos. We could talk about it at the Erin Seif Shalamayla Mesei Der Shtalshlos, but it's still Shaykh Der Shtalshlos. Im B'Sharshay, or we could refer to this Madrega of Erin Seif Shum B'chinas Erin Seif Shalivnat Tzimtzum. V'hainu B'chinas Atzmus Erin Seif HaBilti Ba'Gvul, which means in any madrega you're talking about, there's a level of Erin Seif which you could refer to. If we're talking about any shtalshlos, it's the Erin Seif. Shalamaylam say they're shtalshlos. If you want to talk about the source of shtalshlos, the source of the Erin Seif, that's even Lamaylam Lifnat Timtzum, which is not even shaykh to shtalshlos. The Bechino madrega zu apirush adi ad ulosh nitzchus v'hainu. The Bechino sahilul v'ashevach, that this level of praise, the Bechinos again. The Bechina Sahilul V'Ashevach V'Reim Mus Erin Seif Ein L'Shir Klal. There's no limitation. Ki Yesh Shevach Utila Shi Yesh Lo Ketzug V'Ol. Sometimes you praise something which does have a boundary and an end. Someone that's very smart or very great, but there's a limit. When you get to the extent of their greatness, you cannot keep on praising them. You can't praise something more than it is. But the greatness of the Eibishter, which does not have any limit and any boundary. So also, however many your praises you're going to do, there's no Shiur. There's no gvul. It's not like a Gadol or a Chacham, which when you reach somewhere, you stop at some point. This guy's this smart, that strong, that big. Here, there's no limit. This is what we just spoke about at length yesterday, and what we started talking about today. Because this itself, so here there's im kol zeh, that it's bligvul, ein leketz v'shir, because it was ein safe, ein leketz v'shir. There is this idea of hefsek, in an hefsek, who not here that you stop praising. Rather, however many praises you're going to do, you have to understand that you're not going to reach the level of atzmos, because you're never even going to be able to touch or relate to explaining that at all. There's two different ways that we refer to ad. Sometimes you say ad and you include it, which means you're related to that. You say up till that point, including that point, which means you have a shaykhus to that point. But then there's ad v'lo ad bichlal. Till there, but you can't reach there. You reach the next level through getting ad to there. You cannot reach another madrega. However high you go, you are never going to reach the real Ur of the Eibishter. Even so, we're talking about here in the atmosphere Erin Seif, like we said earlier, Erin Seif. There's either either the Erin Seif Shalamaylam say their stalshlos, or B'Sharshay Shlifnat Tzimtzum. So that's what we're talking about when we get to Ad V'Lo Ad B'Chlal, that you can never reach those levels. But he says no. Here, Ara Gufa Gam Kin In Nafsek V'Ad V'Lo Ad B'Chlal V'Hainu Gam Kishabom Mitzalel Is Madrega. From one level, you on its own don't get to the next level. So, and we'll explain in a minute why. But we mocked him. We just said in the ad v'ad bichlal, on the one hand, it means you have a shaykhis to it, right? That's a simple pshat. But on the other hand, it means that from one madrega, you actually reach the next level. One level actually lets you reach and move on to the next level. Here we're saying, even in the Aragufa, it's not about ad of a hefsek that you can't reach anymore, but it's rather, the ad over here means that that's as much as you could get from this madrega. And in order to reach the next madrega, there's another type of avodah, another type of thing you have to do. Maybe it's al derech what we said in last Maamar, they have to have a bittul madrega kedamis, which here, even within ha'aras, you're reaching one level to another level. From one level, you're not reaching the next level, rather you're having a bittul madrega kedamis. And we'll see more an explanation here in the next paragraph. Madregas, which are related one to another. Which relates over here to which is gvul limited. They say they're shtashos. We're talking about giluyim, which are limited iros. And obviously, even within the agbolos, there's many madregas one on top of another. That they're related. Machsha close are the general level of gvul. From one level, you reach another one. Like we said this in the mashal in last Maamar, when we were trying to say how Reb Zeda had to forget Talmud Bavli to get Talmud Yerushalmi, which was a davar pella. Why was it a davar pella? Because in general seichel had etchila leim dem seichel katan, v'achakach boim l'seichel gadol yoser. Befrat b'sichlim ha'shayachim l'zelzah, things that are shayach one to another. Had etchila tzarich leida ha'sichlim ha'tachtonim. First, you have to understand the lower level, and if you don't understand the lower level, you cannot jump to the higher level. Umizeh dafke from the lower level, the lower seichel, v'achakach l'sichlim al. So that's in general. So even within a dvar seichel, first we would generally understand it. Within the same seichel. So again, it's two madregas within the same seichel. Every time we want to understand something a little beyond us, we first have to understand it on a lower level. וזהו שקוצב הרמב"ם בהלכות יסוד התורה פרק ג' תסבינן הגלגלים שמכירים עצמם ומכירים המלאכים. First the galgalim recognize themselves and then they know the malachim. And the Mefarish over there in Hilchos Yesod HaTorah over there explains the Shiur in Kachu. He explains in the Lashon Rambam Shetchilo Yodem Makirin Atzma. First they have to understand themselves, and then they can relate to their cause or what created them or what made them come about. This happens through this that they know themselves. This that they could then later understand the Eibishter. They understand now that there has to be something, there has to be an ilah, a reason that creates, that forces the Metzias to happen. Not that they understand the Eibishter itself. This malachim, like it's talking about how the malachim understand. But vinishvi, you have a level where makirim atzman. Now, once they understand themselves, that's because the ilason, which is the malachim, they relate to that as well. The malachim take it to the next level. It's only yesh ilah mechuyev hametzias. But again, this is some sort of understand of ezel ad va'ad bichlal. They can then understand the higher level from the lower level. This is when we're talking about ilah va'olol, a cause and an effect which is shaykh one to another. But Erin says which is higher than ishtalshlus, and therefore it's higher than this type of cause and effect which is created through regular seder ishtalshlus. Hagam cheish was hagam kin madregas. Even though there's many madregas there as well. Uchemoshin is bar le'il. The bechol b'chinas yesh bar riba madregas, that every single has many madregas. The k'maykin hagam kin ba'er and sefa seivev, which does not come in this era mugbal, which we just spoke about earlier, which is shaykh to have this level of ishtalshlus of ad v'ad b'chlal. Even in circles, or which refers to the era seivev, there's a ma'alo mata as well. Madregas in that case are not comparable one to another. Dafka, when you're going levels of Aaron Seif, that's when you're going Bligvul. Even oimdim there's hiluch, but oimdim, you're oimid You're mahalach in the oifen of bligvul, in the oifen madrega akas magila madrega kedemes, which that's I guess the level of oimit. Mahalach is going through in areich. So these levels of in areich, these levels of gam shedei masik b'china madrega achas. Even when you understand one level and you understand you even understand it well, lo yagia v'lo yasig. You will not come and not reach. Through this, you're not going to be able to reach the higher level. And you're totally distanced from it. Because it is separated from you in Gansen. It's not even on the same level. It's not even comparable. It's separated in the comparison. Only when you get rid of the first hasaga, you can reach the regular one. If you attack come from one madrega to another madrega, then the attack come through the first madrega. Again, only when you completely understand it, only that can you understand the depth. If it can, but by these levels of inaroich, you have to nullify, you have to get rid of the original madrega. Because they're not comparable at all. The first hasaga, the lower level, confuses you. That's when you could reach the next level. Why does bittul taka cause this? So if bittul clearly gila bittul in general is a keli. It creates a vessel for the earth to come in. Like we see before davening, when you're bitter and bottle, that you get rid of your entire existence. So the eravah could come in because you created a keli. So too here, when you nullify your existence, because again you become a keli for the higher level. You're not there at all. So this is all again levels of Erasev where there's different madregas which are shaykh. They're not shaykh one to another at all, but you can have a bittul madrega kedemes to reach the next level. Which means even with the madregas which you could reach one to another, you have to have a bittul madrega kedemes, since one madrega doesn't even relate to the other one. For sure, to atzmos. However, how you go, the bikulim shem b'chinas gvul, again, revelations that are gvul sham atvad b'chlal, hanish magil madrega lyena. It's more distance and more wonder from you. And so if the more light of the Eibishter you get, you can more understand how the truth of the Eibishter's Atmos is in Ganzen wondrous. There's no way to understand it. The true understanding and the wondrous of the Eibishter's Atmos. The truth of its Atmos is not to understand. If it's dafka someone who's actually involved in trying to understand these levels of Eretz. If you're not involved in these inyanim, you don't even know what there is not to understand. Maybe you have an amunah, but that's not a knowing. Only when you know this, so today's shiur we kind of had a little bit more of a depth and an understanding of how these levels where you have to have a bittul madrega kedemes. So we started by saying that the levels that we spoke about yesterday and the previous maamer were in order to reach one level to another level. Those are madregas that are meruchik and ganzen. So we first introduced the idea of some madregas, which from one madrega, the completion of that madrega could actually lead you into the next madrega, or within a madrega itself, the chitzonius of a fully understanding chitzonius could reach you to getting the level of pnimis in it. But then we have these other madregas which are which are in ura bligvul or ura sevev, which the madrega you're currently at will never help you get to the madrega above it. But im kol zeh, all of this is not even close to the level of atzmos, and that's like we said earlier. Like we said, going back to the pasuk we started in the Indian v'nar yotzim me'eden, the Indian that we started in the maamer of Zayim Tchilas Masecha, that nar yotzim me'eden. So taka through nar we can maybe reach higher levels within Gan Eden, but Eden itself Ayin l'rasa l'kim z'losecha, which just is, again, usually referring to the amitis idea of atzmos. And the higher levels you go, the more you understand how it's muflam meno legamri, and there's no way you're going to understand it. And we'll continue tomorrow talking about these inyanim of how taka do you reach this level of einega atzmi, and how taka we're going to have this gilui in Yemei Mashiach.